Every year, we want to pass on a simple message, something thought provoking for people of all ages coming to our home to see the Navratri decoration. The first message this year that we want to pass on is to be a seeker, to take the journey from untruth to truth. Right? Uh, to depict this, we have created a simple model. The object of focus is this cylinder, and there are two vantage points, one to my right and one on the top. For the set of people who are looking at this cylinder from this angle, it looks like a square or a rectangle. But for the folks who are looking from top, it looks like a circle, right? While both the set of people are true in their own sense, but they are partially true, and I would label them as untruth, but the truth is somewhere something different. And the truth is a little bit more convoluted because this is actually a hollow cylinder. So the key message is all of us needs to be a seeker and to invest more diligence and effort to comprehend the reality, right? Uh, this is further accentuated by this visual, wherein we have six blind people describing an elephant by their sense of touch. One of them would say it's a fan, one of them would say it's a spear, it's a wall, or it's a rope, based on their vantage point. In this example, this person says that it's 9, this person would say it's 6. Both of them are true in their own sense, but the reality is somewhere different as such. In this example, in a room full of people, some of them would say it's half full, half empty, or some, like say for example, I would say it's 50% water and 50% air. So people with different perception would respond differently. The same thing is further relevant now in these days, wherein there is a lot of information available on the internet and media, and we are able to not make out clearly what is fake or what is fact, right? So now people would call it as alternate facts. So similar to the Matrix movie style, where the main protagonist is given a choice to take the blue pill or the red pill. The blue pill represents to continue to remain in the blissful ignorance of illusion or Maya, or to take the red pill and to embrace sometime the painful truth of reality, but to pursue the truth in the true sense. That's what the key message is, that we all need to be a seeker to embark on the journey from untruth to truth relentlessly, which this sloka also very adequately represents, that asatoma sadgamaya means, and the whole sloka means, lead me from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. So all of us need to be a continuous seeker in pursuit of the absolute truth. Continuing on the same message, we have a second model depicting the next message, which is the creation is made up of 5 elements, which is also called as Panchabhutas. The 5 elements are water, earth, akash, akasha, air, and fire. These 5 elements are depicted here. The first one is fire, represented by this lamp and Ganesha, and you can see the shadow that's formed on the background. The second element is earth, again a image of Ganesha from sprouts growing in the mud. The third again is an image of Ganesha underwater. So you can see there's a depiction of Ganesha Rangoli underwater. The fourth element depiction is of air, which is depicted by this small model which essentially shows small colorful threads wavering in air, right? The fifth and the last element is Akasha. So how do we represent Akasha and the image of the creator, or in this case Lord Ganesha, in air, in Akash? So I have a barcode. I will go ahead and scan that. And let's see, we are able to find Lord Ganesh in Akash. So I don't see it now here, but suddenly it appears. So you can see Lord Ganesha in Akash, and it's not only that place. I'll turn around. Let's see if we find on the floor. Yes, you can see Lord Ganesha here. Let me turn around on this carpet. I can see Lord Ganesha here as well. So the key message that we wanted to pass: the creation is made up of 5 elements, and the hand of the creator is in all of them. In this case, depicted by the image of Lord Ganesha. So continuing on the previous message that we all need to be a seeker, we need to seek in the creation or the existence which is made up of 5 elements, and the hand of the creator is in all of the 5 elements. This is also further depicted by the cycle of life, which shows as a baby is born and continues to grow and goes us through the various life stages of teen, adult, getting married, and so on and so forth with a family, eventually getting old, and one day passing away, dying, and going back to the 5 elements, right? So this cycle continues, and we are all made up of the same 5 elements, whether it's humans or any other inanimate or active objects. Now, how do we, continuing on the same journey, how do we then become one with the creation, right? I've used analogies from both quantum mechanics, Advaita Vedanta, to communicate this message. I will not go into the too many details about it, but you guys can also look up the double slit experiment, which essentially expects the paradox of the quantum mechanics at a very high level. When a beam of electron is fired to this board which has 2 slits, you would ideally expect only 2 lines coming here as such, but to a surprise, what happens is actually an interference pattern which has multiple waves like phenomenon. So the particle actually behaves in duality of wave and particle. That is further depicted by this image. Again, please feel free to further Google or go to YouTube to see what double slit experiment. But what it essentially proved is that the existence, especially light, behaves, is more probabilistic as such. And the reason why I depicted this was also because just last year, 2022, 3 physicists won the Nobel Prize in actually confirming the quantum entanglement, which is a very fundamental aspect of quantum mechanics, right? Again, feel free to Google and research further on this topic. But essentially what it summarized, and which our Advaita Vedanta is also confirming the same. Quantum physics is leading to saying that universe is unreal, and our Vedanta has been always saying that universe is an illusion or a Maya. The quantum physicist says the observer is required to bring things into existence, and our Vedanta says the consciousness actually creates the universe. The very famous analogy of Advaita is related to the clay pot example. I can depict that with the help of a clay pot. When I would ask anybody to say that whether this is more of a clay or a pot, most of them would say it's a pot, and some of them would also say that it's clay. But the fundamental aspect is this is made of clay, and that's the core of it. The clay is molded into the shape of a pot, and hence its utility as a pot. The same clay can be molded into multiple other things, which can potentially be a spoon or a house and so on and so forth. But once the fundamental aspect is still clay. Essentially, what this says is we are all molded by the same element, by the same 5 elements that we spoke earlier, and essentially we are all made up of the same element, but we function and are created differently. I am created as Ashok, or somebody is created as so on and so forth, but the utility is not the core, but what we are made up is the core. And how do we realize it? Where our Vedas also used to say that aham brahmasmi, right? I am Brahman. It also means to say that the only identity that we have is that with the cosmos. Whenever a child is initiated into education, either in the Gurukul or in the earlier days, or when there is a Vidyarambha as such, the very first thing that they mention is aham brahmasmi, which means the only identity I have is that with the cosmos. It's not about being an Indian, being a father, a mother, a boy, a male. That is not what defines the identity. The only identity is with the cosmos. And to depict and kind of have that analogy, again there's this QR code that I need to sign in. Okay, so I've created a app to depict the oneness, which is essentially to say that if I look at myself now, I can see the Lord Ganesha's on my face, right? Which is essentially to say that continuing with the same analogy of the various Ganesha that we saw in all the 5 elements is also there in me and in everyone, right? I hope this was insightful and thought-provoking. Just to summarize, the first model that we saw was to say that we all need to be a seeker from it, to take a journey from untruth to truth, asatoma sadgamaya, and the existence of the creation is a play of 5 elements, and the image or the hand of the creator is in all the 5 elements, and we all need to pursue and seek to get into oneness with the creation, which the science, especially quantum mechanics, all our Advaita, Vedanta and all other spiritual research that has been done especially in Indian and Hindu culture is also telling the same, right? I hope it was thought-provoking and informative. Thank you.